Welcome back to Demolition Worker. Today we face an extreme engineering challenge, dismantling a massive old bridge over a very deep river. Look at this colossal structure. It has stood for decades, but now it must be safely removed without damaging the fragile ecosystem. The deep river below is a vital waterway. Dropping heavy debris into these currents would cause severe environmental damage and block traffic. Therefore, standard demolition methods are strictly prohibited here. We must execute a highly controlled surgical removal of every single heavy concrete span. Environmental experts are closely monitoring our every move. They ensure that no harmful materials or falling rocks pollute this beautiful aquatic environment. Giant barges are slowly moving into position. These floating platforms carry massive cranes and specialized cutting machinery required for this complex operation. Navigating these massive barges through the strong river currents requires incredible skill. The captains must hold their positions perfectly against the water. Once the barges are securely anchored, the engineering team begins setting up underwater containment systems to catch any accidental debris or dust. Safety nets and protective floating booms are deployed around the bridge pillars. This creates a secure zone for the delicate demolition work. With the perimeter secured, workers begin inspecting the ancient stone pillars. They need to identify the exact stress points for our cuts. This is where the diamond wire cutting technique comes into play. It is the only method precise enough for this massive challenge. A diamond wire saw uses a continuous loop of incredibly strong cable embedded with industrial diamonds to slice right through solid concrete. The crew carefully wraps the diamond wire around the first massive bridge span. This section alone weighs several hundred tons of concrete. Tension is applied to the wire. Water hoses are positioned to cool the cutting cable and prevent hazardous dust from becoming airborne. The cutting machine roars to life. The diamond wire spins at an incredible speed, biting into the old concrete and steel reinforcement. You can see the slurry forming as the wire grinds through the dense material. The water keeps the entire operation surprisingly clean. This process is slow but incredibly precise. We are literally slicing this massive bridge into manageable blocks without causing any dangerous vibrations. Meanwhile, the giant floating crane is maneuvering closer. Its massive hook is prepared to take the weight of the newly cut section. Heavy-duty steel cables are securely attached to the bridge span. The rigging team double-checks every single connection for absolute safety. The crane takes up the slack in the cables. It must hold the exact weight of the span before the cut finishes. If the crane pulls too hard, the wire could snap. If it does not pull enough, the concrete block might suddenly drop. The coordination between the cutting operator and the crane operator must be absolutely flawless. A single mistake could lead to a disaster. The diamond wire finally slices through the last remaining inches of steel rebar. The massive concrete block is now completely separated forever. The crane engine roars loudly as it takes the full weight. Hundreds of tons of solid concrete are now hanging in midair. Slowly and smoothly, the giant crane lifts the cut span away from the bridge structure. It is a breathtaking display of power. The heavy block is carefully lowered onto a waiting transport barge. The barge dips slightly under the immense weight of the concrete. One section is successfully removed. The team takes a brief moment to celebrate before immediately moving on to the next massive span. The process repeats itself along the entire length of the bridge. Each cut requires the exact same level of precision and focus. As the central spans are removed, the structural integrity of the remaining bridge changes. Engineers constantly monitor the old stone support pillars. The river current begins to pick up speed. The barges must adjust their anchors to maintain stability in the increasingly rough waters. Environmental monitors take water samples downstream. They are verifying that our cutting slurry and operations are not negatively impacting the river ecosystem. The results are perfect. The containment booms are successfully keeping the river completely clean, proving our careful demolition strategy is working flawlessly. Now we face the most difficult section, the central span. It is the longest and heaviest piece of the entire old bridge. Two floating cranes must work together for this massive lift. This tandem lifting operation requires absolute synchronization between the two crane operators. The diamond wire saw is set up for a double cut. We must slice both ends of the central span simultaneously today. The cutting begins. Water sprays continuously over the rapid diamond wires, creating small rainbows in the bright sunlight reflecting off the river. The tension in the air is truly palpable. Everyone is watching the wires slowly slice through the thickest part of the bridge. Both cranes lock their cables tight. They are now holding the massive central span, waiting for the final steel rebars to yield. With a loud crack, the final connection breaks. The enormous central span is completely free from the ancient stone pillars supporting it. The two cranes lift in perfect harmony. The massive concrete structure rises gracefully into the sky, defying its incredible weight and size. It is suspended high above the deep river. The operators carefully swing the colossal load toward the largest transport barge waiting nearby. Gently, the massive central span touches down on the deck. The successful tandem lift is a major milestone for the entire project. With the horizontal spans completely gone, only the vertical stone pillars remain standing in the river. They look like ancient, lonely monuments. Demolishing these pillars requires a different approach. We must cut them down, section by section, from the top to the waterline. Workers are lowered onto the top of the stone pillars in specialized safety baskets. They begin drilling holes for the lifting cables. The diamond wire saw is brought back into action. It is rigged horizontally to slice the top section of the stone pillar. The ancient stone is incredibly dense. The cutting process generates intense vibrations that ripple down the pillar and into the deep water. Small splashes of water hit the base of the pillar as the vibrations shake loose tiny fragments of old moss and dirt. The top block is finally severed. The crane lifts the heavy stone cube, revealing the solid core of the old bridge support. We repeat this horizontal slicing process, moving further down the pillar. Each removed block brings us closer to the dark river surface. As we approach the waterline, the challenge intensifies. We must ensure no stone fragments drop into the sensitive aquatic habitat below. Specialized underwater divers are deployed to inspect the submerged base of the pillars. They check for any hidden structural damage or debris. The divers report that the riverbed is completely clear. Our strict environmental protection measures have successfully preserved the natural underwater ecosystem perfectly. Now we must execute the final cuts, right at the water level. The diamond wire is positioned just inches above the current. The cutting machine runs at maximum efficiency. The wire slices smoothly through the wet stone, creating a thick slurry of gray mud. The final stone block is lifted away. The river flows freely over the remaining submerged foundation, which will become an artificial reef. The first pillar is completely gone. The team immediately shifts their focus to the remaining vertical supports standing in the deep river. The sun begins to set, casting a golden glow over the demolition site. The giant machines look like mechanical beasts at work. Floodlights are turned on to illuminate the work area. The operation continues into the night to meet the strict project deadline schedule. The bright lights reflect off the dark river water. The glowing diamond wire looks like a laser beam cutting through the darkness. Night operations require even more caution. Visibility is limited, and the crane operators must rely heavily on radio communications from the ground. Another massive stone block is hoisted into the night sky. The silhouette of the crane against the moon is a spectacular sight. The transport barges are now fully loaded with concrete and stone blocks. They slowly navigate away, heading toward the designated recycling facility. All the demolished materials will be crushed and reused in future construction projects. This ensures a sustainable approach to our demolition work. Morning arrives, bringing a fresh start. Only one final stone pillar remains standing in the middle of the wide and deep river. The crew is exhausted but highly motivated. They know they are incredibly close to successfully completing this monumental and dangerous engineering challenge. The diamond wire is wrapped around the final pillar for the last time. The tension is set and the cooling water flows. The machine starts and the wire cuts deep into the stone. Everyone watches quietly, anticipating the final separation of the old structure. The crane cable goes tight. The operator watches his load monitor closely, ready to take the massive weight of the final block. The cut is complete. The crane lifts the final piece of the old bridge high into the air, away from the river. A loud cheer erupts from the engineering crew. They have successfully dismantled the entire bridge without a single piece falling into water. The river is now completely open and free from obstructions. Water traffic can safely resume its normal navigation through this vital channel. The environmental experts conduct their final inspection. They test the water quality and scan the riverbed to ensure absolute environmental compliance everywhere. The results are officially confirmed. The water remains pristine and the local marine life continues to thrive without any disturbance or harm. The giant floating cranes begin to fold their massive booms. The barges pull up their heavy anchors and prepare to depart soon. This project was a perfect demonstration of modern engineering. We combined incredible mechanical power with delicate precision to protect our natural world. The coordination between the onshore management and the offshore operators was absolutely flawless. It proves what dedicated teamwork can achieve under pressure. The diamond wire cutting technology proved to be the ultimate solution. It handled hundreds of tons of solid concrete with surgical accuracy. Looking at the empty space above the river, it is hard to believe a massive bridge stood here just a day ago. The demolition industry is rapidly evolving. We are constantly developing safer, cleaner, and more efficient methods to dismantle massive and outdated structures. Our commitment to environmental protection has never been stronger. We understand that progress must not come at the expense of our nature. The transport barges arrive at the recycling plant. The heavy concrete blocks are unloaded and fed into massive industrial crushing machines immediately. The crushed concrete will form the foundation for a brand new, modern bridge. The cycle of construction and demolition continues to spin. We leave this site proud of our incredible accomplishments. The river flows peacefully, completely undisturbed by the massive industrial operation just completed. The engineering team packs up their specialized equipment. Every tool and safety device is carefully cleaned and stored for the next mission. This successful operation sets a new standard for bridge demolitions worldwide. It proves that extreme challenges can be overcome with smart planning. We hope you enjoyed witnessing this incredible feat of engineering. The power of these giant machines is truly a spectacular sight today. Thank you for joining us on this amazing journey. We will continue to bring you the most extreme demolition projects on Earth. Please remember to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us document these massive industrial operations every week. This is Demolition Worker signing off. Stay safe, respect the environment, and we will see you in the next exciting episode soon.